Heidi, hey, how's it going? My name is Lauren May and welcome to this video. Today I'm doing part 2 of my trip to Europe. This video is going to be of my time in Italy. We spent 5 days in Italy. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Straight from Switzerland, we drove straight down towards Italy. So I can't remember the details of timing, but we left Switzerland, I assume, really early in the morning. Most days when we left a place, it was like 7 a.m. or 7:45, like it was fairly early. So I think we only arrived in Pisa like 3 in the afternoon. It was a fair while after, and we were only in Pisa for like maybe 2 hours at the max. Like we had a very limited time there. We basically got to, have our money shot of the Leaning Tower and then go. So I've got a little bit of footage here. I'll also add in some of the photos that I took. They're very touristy and it's hilarious. I also was able to have my first gelato in Italy, which was so exciting. It was really good. Just did all the touristy things as you do. Immediately from there, we got back on the bus and started driving towards Florence, which is about an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours between the two. So we got into Florence, and from what I remember, we basically had dinner and kind of checked in and was like left to our own devices for the evening. A bunch of us stayed at the bar, had some drinks and whatnot, and then went to bed. The next day was, it was a day. It was really, really hot. We had a walking tour in the morning in Florence, which was really cool. I've got some footage here that I will show you. We got to see some really cool things. To be honest, Florence is the thing that I remember the least. I don't remember the details of any of the buildings we went into. I don't remember the significance of most of the things that we saw, but I do remember that it was a very lovely place. So after our hour and a bit, 2 hour walking tour that we did in Florence, so we had lunch. And for the lunch that a group of us had, we were able to try Florentine steak, which is like a regional delicacy there. OMG, it tasted amazing. I was also able to try some tiramisu, which also was really great. And then we basically got back on the bus and drove another 3 or 4 hours to Rome. And then when we got to Rome, we started a 4-hour walking tour, which was insane because it was a big day of traveling and also doing all these walking tours. But the Rome walking tour was amazing. Our tour guide, he's great, and he was really passionate about doing the walking tour, and so you could definitely tell that, and we got to learn a lot of cool stuff because of that as well. So I've got some footage here of our time in Rome and what we saw, all of the major things. We saw this really cool fountain that looked like a boat. The Spanish Steps. Of course, the Trevi Fountain. I had my little Lizzie McGuire moment, and as you can see, I started singing mouthing the words to the song. Even our tour guide, he referenced it, which I have a clip of as well.
Hey now, this is what dreams are made of. Hey now, this is what dreams are made of. I've got somewhere I belong. I got somebody to love.
Okay, top deck. Hey now. This is what dreams are made of. Hey, Liz McGuire.
The Parliament building we saw. And then of course the Colosseum was like our big finale, which was really exciting. It was cool, lit up at night. So the next day we kind of had a free day. We had an optional activity to go to the Vatican, so that's what a group of us did. It was really cool to go through there. I didn't really know much about it beforehand. It was cool just, you know, exploring the inside with our tour guide, all the artwork and the delicacy of the architecture. It's like insane how much detail is in that place. Then after our tour, we walked outside of the Vatican and towards, now I can't remember what the square is called. I think it's St. Mark's Square, but like not sure. It's a square where the Pope goes to do the Wednesday Mass. And it happened to be a Wednesday, the day that we were there. So I'm not sure if you can tell in the footage that I have, but we were like 35 seconds too short of seeing the Pope. They have like a giant big screen right there so that, you know, people at the back can see what the Pope's doing and what's going on in the service or whatever they call it. And literally as we got into the square, the Pope was walking back into the building. Like, it was like the worst timing, but you know, we got to see him on the screen, so that was kind of cool. And then we basically explored the rest of the afternoon. We had some pizza. We did some other things, like it was just another free afternoon doing touristy things. The next day we then travelled to Venice, which was, I think it was 3-4 hour drive. Can't remember exactly. It was again very hot. The time that we were in Europe, just overall, Europe was going through a heat wave, so it was hotter than usual. I mean, I was expecting it to be hot because obviously it's summer, but like it was a lot hotter than it was meant to be. So that was a bit of a toll, but it was really cool, and we were in like awesome places, so that distracted us from the heat a lot. So here's my footage of Venice. Venice was very lovely. It was really cool. to see, you know, the canals and like the pathways and like the no traffic around. At the end of the tour that we had, like the walking tour that we had, a few of us were going on a gondola ride, which was really cool. So I have most of my footage of Venice is of that, so I will play that now. And then after our gondola ride, we basically had the afternoon to ourselves. A bunch of us had some lunch or dinner or whatever it was at the time and hung out for a bit, and then we had to be back at the meeting point by a certain time so we could be taken to our accommodation. And that was about it. That was our time in Italy. That was hopefully a not too quick of a rundown of what we did. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget, if you want to follow along with what I did in Europe, click that subscribe button and then you can be notified every single time that I upload a video. I hope you have a wonderful day, and remember, don't forget to hug someone today. Bye!